Alright, welcome back to the channel. So today I got this Troy-Bilt Professional Series 21-inch rear self-propelled lawnmower. So as you saw in the last clip, the issue that was going on, there's actually a little bit of fuel inside the gas tank. It was hard to show in the camera. I tried to see if it would start with it. When I pulled it over a few times prior, it wouldn't do it, so I knew it was kind of going to be an issue with fuel. Not sure I haven't really worked on these particular models. This kind of looks almost like the pressure washer engine I had a while back, which I still have, so I do have parts for it if I need be. So what I wanted to do in this video is basically just go tear down the carb and essentially clean the carb. So I wanted to basically just go ahead and do a video of tearing it down. I'm going to use the ultrasonic and I'll clean it out. So it's probably got stale fuel. This thing does have a few issues with it. The rear tire, it's worn on this one side. They don't make this tire anymore. It's a discontinued part. I can't find any aftermarket. And somebody tried to fix it with some duct tape and they tried to glue it down. I guess it works for now, but eventually these tires are going to wear out. And then I did notice for the self-propel, they had zip ties here, and looking at it here, it looks like the cable is a little bit stretched, but I want to get it running to see how it performs with the selection on it, to see if it's even worth repairing, because once again, some of these parts are obsolete. They don't really make them. I know the cable they probably do, but if you can't really get other parts, then what's be the point of it? So what I'll do here is I'll show how to go ahead and get the carb removed here, just for go ahead cleaning. It's probably going to be a 10 millimeter. This model, I believe, is a 2010. No, it's actually smaller. My mistake. You know what? I'll probably try 9/16. I'll do a 9/16. So, or I'm sorry, 5/16. 5/16. I apologize. So you just remove obviously the top cover for the air filter, and then there's two 5/16 bolts. Just go ahead and just take those off. I've not really worked on these. I don't know if this is like a sandwich kind of type of carb. So I guess I'll find out today. Okay. Got the two bolts off, and then I'm assuming this is, okay, so this is just like a plastic type of cover on it. And it is also mounted here for, it's like the intake tube, so I'll clean that out. So PCV runs through here as well. This one was pretty dirty, but what do you expect? The line runs from the tank all the way here and has to make a 90-degree turn. Yeah, it's a pretty bad design. Oh, it is an auto choke too. So auto choke system. So when the exhaust heats up, it actually will move the valve so it stays basically open. So the auto choke system, I just got to remember how it goes on here after it's cleaned, because there's a lot of just little fine debris in here. And what I'll do here is I'll go ahead and I'll first remove the line. Grab a pair of pliers here. I like to use my angle ones just so I can grab it. There is a little bit of fuel in here, so I may just get a catch can to try to just catch whatever's in there. I just wanted to angle it a little bit better. Just use a different pair of pliers so I can just grab it. I don't know why the tab was all the way on the bottom. So what I'll try here is just angling it in. Like I said, there's not that much fuel in there, so there we go. And just angle it a little bit more further out. Okay. And what I'll do is let me just get a container to catch the remaining fuel in there or whatever's in there. grab some stuff. Sorry. Found a little old mug I've had in my garage for a while. It's just like a little letter A mug. What I'll do is I'll pull the fuel line off of it. Well, first let me grip it and then pull it off. This fuel line's never been off, so wiggle it off, pull it off, and then there goes the fuel, whatever's left of it. Yeah, the fuel looks very, very kind of dirty. I don't think there's much fuel in here anyways, but release the pressure in there. Yeah, there's not much fuel. Yeah, it's definitely a little dirty, but it's clean. I'll probably run just some fresh fuel out of it. What I'll do is whatever drippings come out of it, I'll just put it in an old shirt I have here. So that'll be fine. And then what I'll do here is next I will remove the assembly. So you have one going here to the screw up top. That's just going to be your auto choke. That stays with the assembly. And then there's your throttle. So your throttle's there. And there is actually two bolts here, small bolts. Let's see if these are, I believe it's quarter. See if I can angle it in. No, I'm sorry, these might be a little bit bigger. It's just so much dirt and gunk on them. It's kind of hard to tell. Yeah, so they're still 5/16. I can get to this one pretty easily. Take right off. Oh, that is a long bolt. Okay. Decent length. Almost like the other one. I can just go back on for now. And then just on the opposite side is the same thing, 5/16. And the whole assembly will loosen up. So fairly straightforward. It's just more or less, you got to remember if it's sandwiched with different gaskets. So those bolts go there. There is a bracket that goes on the inside, okay, and the spring is mounted to the lower part of this bracket. I'm just going to remember this visually. There's the spring, okay, so it'll mount to the actual gasket that's pressed upon the manifold. Okay, and once again, these are just going to be pop-off tabs, or you angle it, just pops right off the exhaust, place it there, and this one you just kind of unhook. I'm just trying to see where the bend is. Okay, so it's like a bend. It's a bend type hook, so you just got to kind of first get that one on, and that's your assembly right there. You have all this contraptions, all this stuff. I just got to remember, you know, just to put where I got to put everything, which is not too horrible. What I'll try to do is just lightly pull off the gasket that's on the front of it. Once again, I'm just being careful just to save that gasket. So I'll reuse that once it's clean. And then what we'll do is this spring here, I'm going to unhook from the bottom portion of this. The spring just unhooked from the bottom portion of the carb. Put the spring to the side, and then I will remove the bolt for it. It's a little dirty, so you could tell. I'll show you guys the contents of the bowl as soon as I get it off. It's probably going to be a 1/2 inch, would be my guess. inch. Yeah, half inch. And what I'll do is use the impact, and we'll blast it off. There goes the fuel, whatever's in there. I'll get the jet out. And looking at the jet, let me just go ahead and just take the little gasket that holds the bottom off. Looking at the jet, you can see it looks like it is fully clogged. So just doing a quick little, sorry if I'm trying to get the camera to focus. 1 second here. If you look, just by blowing through it, look at that. It cleaned it right up. I'm still going to put in the ultrasonic, but you can see that now it's fully opened. So that one's going to go in the ultrasonic. And then the condition of the fuel, it's kind of hard to see, but you can see that the fuel is very stale. It's not really fresh. So I'll put that into the ultrasonic. The float looks to be okay, or the needle. I don't see any issues with that. This Briggs is this is 190, or I believe it's a 175cc. I've never worked on one of these. They look fairly similar to the 190s I've worked in the past with, the old Quantums. So nothing really new there. What I'll do is I'll remove the needle and seat, and I'll just look at it so you can just get fully cleaned. Yeah, the condition's okay. It's probably dirty though. It's really dirty from the top. So the needle and the seat, they look to be okay. So I'll put that in the ultrasonic, and then what I'll do is just run it through the ultrasonic cleaner and see how it goes. Give it about 15 minutes or so. Let me just get it set up. And all I do with the ultrasonic, I actually run a mixture of simple green. Put this in here. Let me just wipe down the bowl a little bit. All I literally do is just put a mixture of simple green and some water I boil, because I have an old kennel that's electric. So I could just boil some water from time to time. And what I'll do is I'll place the whole assembly inside the basket, and we'll ultrasonic clean it. And then I'll just drop it in, and the float will clean itself. And then what I'll do is I will then turn it on, of course. I've had this ultrasonic cleaner for the last couple years, so it does come in handy. Here, let me see if I could just drop the tripod here. It's kind of hard to do this all at once. I apologize, just so you guys can see. I'll try to be a little bit fairly detailed on how I do things. I know people sometimes ask, and sometimes I'm like, oh, I should have recorded that. And I have it set up here, so it's set. So it should be coming on. All right, so that's on. Got that on, and then what it'll do is it'll warm it up. Actually, I want to drop the temperature to about 56. And then it'll turn on. Yeah, I'll let it sit in here for about 15 minutes, and I'll basically reassemble it. I'll run some fuel through this gas tank just to make sure it's good. The oil's already popped up, so I'll let it cook here for a little bit, and we'll just let it wash out, and I'll do a little test video next. So stay tuned.